Let me take you back to 1997. Back when games came on CDs, monitors were as square as your TV, and platformers ruled the world. In that golden era of gaming, something special hit the shelves. A game called Claw. And if you've never heard of it, well, it's because time hasn't been kind to this gem. A true hidden gem, forgotten by most, but still alive, thanks to a small and dedicated community. Today, we are diving into why Claw is one of the best platformers of all time, and why it deserves a comeback and more recognition. So, what is Claw? Imagine you're a pirate captain, but also a cat. Naturally, your enemies are dogs. What else would they be? The story kicks off with a massive naval battle, and Captain Claw ends up captured and thrown into a cell. While there, he finds a letter about a mythical treasure, the Amulet of Nine Lives. It's said to grant immense power, but its pieces are scattered across the world. With that, Claw escapes and begins his quest to collect the gems and reassemble the amulet. Now, let's talk gameplay because this is where Claw really shines. It's a classic 2D platform at its core, but what sets it apart is how much depth it offers. You've got a sword as your main weapon, quick, responsive, and with infinite uses. Then there's a pistol, dynamite, and a powerful magic attack, all of which have limited ammo. You will find ammo scattered around the levels, but it's not plentiful, so you have to think strategically. Do you save that dynamite for a tricky group of enemies ahead? Or do you waste it now because you're low on health and panicking? The platforming itself is tight and precise. Timing is everything. There are sections where you have to perfectly time your jumps to avoid traps, spikes, or moving platforms. Miss a jump and you are done for. What I love is that the game doesn't just throw enemies at you. It integrates them into the platforming. You'll have to fight off enemies while jumping between tiny platforms or dodging projectiles. It keeps you constantly on edge, and it feels amazing when you pull it all off. And then there are the levels themselves. They are so distinct from one another. One moment you're hopping across castle walls under the bright blue sky, and the next you are crawling through a dark, eerie dungeon. Each level has its own unique hazards and design quirks. For example, some levels have ropes you can dangle on, others have spikes and lava sections, and a few have moving floors that force you to keep up or risk falling to your death. The variety keeps things fresh, and no two levels feel the same. There's also a collectible element. Each level is packed with treasures, gold coins, jewels, and special power-ups. If you're a completionist, this game is going to drive you crazy. Some of the treasures are hidden in the most ridiculous places, some of which I've never found until I randomly saw some YouTube videos. You'll spend ages trying to find secret rooms or figuring out how to reach an out-of-the-way platform. Some of them are even only accessible with temporary power-ups that last just enough for you to reach them. Miss a jump or get stuck on an enemy and the time is gone. And you can't just die and get the power-up again, no. They are gone until the full game over. And let's not forget the enemies. They're not just there to slow you down. They're actively trying to mess you up. The dogs come in all shapes and sizes. Some swing swords, others throw explosives, and then there are the ones that just charge at you with brute force. Later levels even introduce tougher enemies that require more hits to kill or have patterns that are harder to predict. It keeps the combat challenging, especially when combined with the tricky platforming sections. And then there are the bosses. Oh, the bosses. They're all unique, each with their own attack patterns and strategies. But they are also ridiculously tough, at least some of them. Red Tail is the one that still haunts me to this day. The guy is relentless and his attacks are brutal. You will spend ages just trying to figure out how to dodge him effectively. And even when you finally beat him, there's a good chance you'll die immediately after because you killed him with just 10 HP left and the next level just throws you something completely new and unexpected. But here's the thing. Despite how hard it is, Claw never feels unfair. The controls are so precise and responsive that every death is on you. When you die, and trust me you will, it's because you messed up, not because the game cheated you. That's what makes it so addictive. All those little details just add to that love and experience. Like how Claw will taunt enemies when you land a hit, or how the levels are full of details. And the way the story is told by some animated cutscenes is just incredible. They look straight out of a 90s anime, and they're remarkably good for the time. They're not masterpieces or anything, but they are really good. There's even a small community of fans today who have created custom levels, some of which are incredibly inventive and hard. One of my favorites is a remake of the first level, but with enemies and difficulty from the final level. It's absolute chaos, but it's also a testament to how much people love this game. They have done so much to keep this game alive. Since Claw is abandonware, you can't buy it anywhere anymore, They've preserved the game files and made them available online. They've even optimized the game to run on modern systems and added widescreen support. That said, I still recommend playing it in the original 4:3 aspect ratio. Widescreen ruins some of the surprises because you can see way more of the map than you are supposed to. Stick with the classic look. It's how the game was meant to be played. Just check the description of this video and you'll find a link to the website where you can check the game and everything this passionate group of fans have been doing throughout the years. It's not the most modern website, sure, but it definitely gets the job done. And you will be playing in less than 5 minutes if you want. If you are a fan of platformers, Claw is a must play. It's challenging, creative and just downright fun. Sure, it's going to frustrate you, especially in the later levels, but every victory feels earned. Honestly, if there's one game I'd want to see remade, it's this one. It deserves to be rediscovered by a whole new generation of players. So, if you've never played Claw, now is the time to track it down. Dive into this pirate cat adventure and see if you've got what it takes to beat it. Just be ready to curse Red Tail's name when you get there.